Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
That was me. Just
Are we starting?
No. I'm sorry, who is this? I'm on the phone. Can you maybe not?
Okay, it's time for the Calling Random People on Discord podcast, a.k.a. Inane Blather. What's your name, young man?
Doug?
How'd you know that? Wait.
Who am I talking to?
Did I say your or mine? Wait, that's not your name. That's my name. Okay, anyway. And starting off with a fucking bang.
And scene.
But just so everyone knows, it's episode 19, so
19.
should be very boring. And also we are
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
And we always let everyone know
mental illness is when you're right wing.
Well,
that's the
Ben
point
Shapiro,
that we want to get across.
Yeah, he lets us know that. So
He said it.
always reminding us.
I know. He just says it and he says it and he says it. And he's right. You know, surprisingly.
Yeah.
For once.
But he
does
burst
have a
into a
point
room when I was trying to, kind of give some humanity to people on the right wing, saying that it was okay.
Sure, Nazis
and they're
deserve
just
healthcare.
Yeah, and all of that. And he just burst into the room and he was like, "Sit down!" And he told me, that
mental illness is when you're right wing.
Yeah, that's what happened. So
he was very adamant about it. I remember it was a little bit. I'm like, you're being kind of cruel, honestly, Ben. I don't think that it's, it's like a society problem, not just like an individual having a mental illness. But I do agree that conservatism is stupid and it'll never work.
Yeah. And he just looked at you with a sly grin and he said,
Awesome. Awesome to the max.
Yeah, that's exactly how Ben Shapiro sounds. Anyway, so how's the weather over there? Since if you're new to this show, which you're not, because it's not like we're growing.
I thought you were talking to me. I've been on every episode, Doug.
No, this is Call a Random Person on Discord.
Yeah, that's
we're
what I
still
mean.
doing that. No. Okay, Doug. I was going to say, if you're new to this, we discuss the weather every time. It's not just a stupid thing, and you just have to go back and listen to the first episode, which is really crappy and really bad, and you'll figure it out. Anyway.
It's way too long.
Yeah, and it starts off with Price is Right or something like that.
Do you know what's a funny thing that I like when men say? It might be short, but at least it's skinny.
It might be short, but it's skinny.
They don't say that. Yeah. It might be short, but at least it's skinny.
Yeah. You know what I love when men say to me, "You're normal"? No, they don't say that.
Yeah. They don't say I love you or anything like that. I've never actually heard that from a man.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Maybe short, but at least it's skinny.
Yeah. Or it may be skinny, but at least it's short. Either way, it really
I may
works.
have a small I may have a small dick, but at least I come fast.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
So, yeah, let's see. How's the weather?
The
over there?
weather is
frightful.
It's gray and cloudy and kind of cold. Just drove back from Thanksgiving with the fam over on the other side of the mountains today. Came home today. So Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah.
So I think it's maybe Native American something PC bullshit like that day or something like that. Trying to take
Black
away
Friday.
all these, it's trying to Black Friday?
Yeah. Black
Seems
Friday
pretty
is
problematic.
on the calendar that they have as the Indigenous Peoples Remembrance Day or something like that. I don't know. That's the first time I've seen that was
Me too.
this year.
It was on my
looking at
Google calendar.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, that's interesting, I guess, and totally not confusing with Columbus Day, now Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, that's what I was.
But
That's exactly what I was thinking.
it's like, I don't mind, but it's like, come on. Let's get something more clever here instead of this sterilized liberal crap.
And why the day after Thanksgiving? Why not Thanksgiving Day? Because that's kind of the whole fucking point about having that Native American whatever.
Why
day.
not the
Because
Monday
it's like
before
about-
Thanksgiving and it's a federal holiday, a 3-day weekend? Or the Monday after Thanksgiving. And then Cyber
Yeah.
Monday, ooh!
Oh, yeah. And then...
He is cold, hollow, and violent.
But, yeah, and then...
So how's the weather over in...
I'll cut your throat. I'll come to your house and kill your children.
Actually, no. The weather was surprisingly really nice today. It was like in the 40s. It was sunny. I had to work outside for a little bit because someone knocked over our fucking mailbox at work, which was weird. I saw it yesterday morning, and I was like, what the fuck? Our mailbox is on the sidewalk. And I was like, gosh, someone was really turning their U-Haul really badly or something. To get into our drive, or a big semi truck or something. Yeah, maybe some. Yeah, probably a woman driver. But and then I looked, and I was like, we have these flower pots, these planters out front. I was like, gosh, if they turned that soon and hit the mailbox, they would have hit these planters too, and those are fine. And so this morning, the assistant manager went to the back. He's like, well, what the heck happened? I was like, I don't know. I didn't even look it up. And he goes to the cameras, and we discover that it was like just late Thanksgiving night. It was like 11:30 p.m. or something. Mm-hmm. Dude just walking down the street, just like while he just kept walking, just bam, just hit our mailbox and knocked it right onto the ground.
With his hand?
Yes, with his body, hand. It was dark, but he just like smashed into it. Knocked it down, like broke the post at the bottom, a 4x4 post, and just kept walking. Didn't even look back. And I was like, that dude is drunk and angry. I was like, that's some guy who just came from a Thanksgiving argument or something. I was like, that dude just down a street where we're on like a pretty busy, not very residential street.
4-lane.
Yeah, and it's just like
lane.
No one's ever walking down it, let alone at night. And it was like, man, that dude just left an argument with his in-laws or something and is hammered. I don't know, because it probably hurt him. So
yeah,
but yeah, so today
we
were just out there, sunk it back into the ground with some expanding foam post-hole crap. It was kind of cool, actually. Technology, am I right? Crap. Yeah, it came right after the whole crap. But
come on.
And but no, so it was really nice. But it's just winter weather. It was just unseasonably or unusually warm and sunny today. It was really foggy this morning. It's been insanely foggy every night.
Yes,
it's so foggy. It's crazy. Yeah. But it looks really cool, where I live, where in the morning when the light comes out, and as soon as you can kind of see through the fog, you just see these clouds of rolling fog coming down the hills, and it looks so cool and fantastical and like Lord of the Rings type shit. It's really neat. Yeah, I think it looks cool every time I see it. Today you said that
I need to see a dick.
But also you said that hey, are you like do you have like a fan going or something?
I had put on can you hear it? I lit a candle.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if I
lit a candle? That doesn't make a fan noise.
Well, can you hear
You're
this?
like, can you smell that?
No, it's like the flame is like 3 inches tall. Like, I don't know what's happening.
That I would hear like a crackling fireplace noise.
Well, I just lit it, and then you're like, what is that?
What is that noise? And you're like, is my house burning down?
Yeah. I have my headphones on, so I can't tell.
Oh, okay. It's just coming through the microphone. Doesn't matter. You said that you had something to say or something to talk. Since we took a week off, I've just been writing shit down, and I have like so much crap on here. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna greet you today at the beginning of this with, to be like, "How are you? I'm fine. Oh, I'm also fine. Yes, it's great to be fine. I agree with you. It's great to be fine."
Dimitri, I like you. Yeah.
Can you turn the music down, Dimitri? Oh, that's much better. And then I wrote some. I mean,
I think
I won't say they're interesting, but. I also wrote Dwayne The Rock Hudson underneath it, and I don't know what that means.
Nice.
But anyway, no, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say about that movie, Doctor Strangelove, about how it's probably maybe even scarier now because of Trump having been president and being such an incompetent, absolute fucking moron.
Just imagine him in the war room.
Holy shit! Yes, exactly. It was like, oh my god, I don't like no me gusta. It was
LOL.
terrifying.
Oh yeah, it was
Not good.
yeah, but
Nice.
I should have done that. I'm sorry.
No,
I'll get better once we're watching A Christmas Story more often, leading up to
Yes.
Christmas.
that's the Grinch, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to
I
mix
was
and
gonna
match
say,
here,
since
buddy.
this was- Yeah, keep up. Come on. All right.
So I'm not running on
so-
all cylinders. I'm out here. It's a bit nipply in here. Oh, actually I can't do it. The whole Christmas Vacation thing. I was trying to throw out another Christmas movie thing.
Yeah.
If the garage wasn't any hotter than it already is.
Yeah.
No, a log.
Tis the
Like a Yule
season.
log.
Yeah.
Not saying I have a log. No.
God.
Anyway. Oh, okay. What were you saying?
I was just thinking because of people going home for Thanksgiving and why it can be difficult for people because, okay, thinking about the term agree to disagree. And I think obviously people can agree to disagree on subjective things like opinions about music and food or liking this thing or that thing or whatever. But
No.
people use that in like talking about politics.
Yeah.
And it's like, but sure, you can also disagree that 2 + 2 = 5.
Yeah,
But
or that
you're
the
wrong.
Earth is round.
Like, I mean, and it's like, and like people use it as a way to shut down conversations and to not grow. Like they don't want to talk with you. They just want to be like, people can have different opinions. And it's like, but these opinions that like political ones or whatever, these belief systems that you have, they can be informed or they can be misinformed. So if
Yeah.
you're agreeing to disagree, like with some people, it's like, yeah, but like what you think, like our opinions are not, okay, the basis, the foundation for these belief systems that we have are not equal because some people's like Nazis being the easiest examples. Are you
Yeah.
going to agree to disagree with a Nazi?
yeah.
Like,
Or owning slaves is another good one.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like there are things that
I mean, it's a great one.
well-
That's a good one. No, that's a good opinion to have.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
People just use it as a way to just get out of like
Responsibility
any
for
sort
their
of accountability.
yeah, exactly.
Beliefs
and on top
being
of that,
held accountable, and then you're being called the one that's like being difficult or antagonistic just because you do disagree, and that's what
Yeah.
happens. Like we've been talking about that, like where it's like other people, you know what, people, whatever. I know that liberals can be like this too, but it does seem like people seem really fucking comfortable being like, oh, how's that? Oh, living over on the west side, huh? And oh, Seattle, whatever. Oh, that shithole Portland, blah, blah, blah. People make all of these comments or make comments about whatever. And then if you don't agree with them, then you're the antagonistic one. But it's like,
Yeah.
I didn't say anything
I
until
didn't
you
start
said
this
something.
conversation.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm only saying that because
now
you
I'm
said
the one who
something.
made it political somehow. Oh, come on. And plus, on top
Yeah.
of that, it's like, it's like, whoa, we could just have an opinion. It's like, just because I don't know. It just seems like it's either too broad of a term or it's misused, where it's like, just because you're an individual who said it doesn't mean that it's an opinion, quote unquote. Like, it's like, no, I don't know. It's like, just because you're stating your belief about the world it's not really what I think of as an opinion, because you could still say that, like, yeah, well, it's just what I believe. It's my opinion. Just like, well, I believe that the world is flat. It's like, that's not really an opinion. I mean, it's your individual belief on the state of reality, but it's not the same thing as opinion colloquially, I think. It's like we just start stretching this term out because, like you're saying, just avoiding any sort of accountability for how you reached that conclusion or, quote, opinion or belief. But it's like, and then, because the constant, just now you have to freak out because someone has different opinions than you. I mean, that's a constant thing on Twitter. And it's like, bro, you know what? It's like, if that's how you see this interaction or this argument, then you know that literally wars have been fought throughout history because of differing opinions. Literally every war has been fought because of that. Literally every fight. If you want to stretch opinion out to mean, just because you literally have a different view of reality or who is superior or anything like that, it's all just opinions to you, then it's like, then if that's the case, then sure, I should have every right to freak out on you for having that opinion because it doesn't mean anything anyway.
And the whole thing about, like, the attitude about you can't, what I got this last couple of days is, like, you can't, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Like, you're too intense, or you can't bludgeon people over the head with it. And next time this comes up, I'm going to be like, so what was the Civil War for? What was the civil rights, all the stuff leading up to the Civil Rights Act being passed? Like, what do you think was happening there? People were having to drag people kicking and screaming because their beliefs were wrong and harmful, and they did need to be bludgeoned over the head with it because they were too fucking stupid to figure it out on their own. Not stupid, misinformed, and unable to whatever, which makes them seem stupid. But that's right. And like incapable of critical thought or whatever, and like learning from mistakes.
I don't care if I'm a firebrand bomb thrower. Racists are stupid, and that's my opinion.
Isn't there a time when you can sort of bludgeon people, like, with
physically?
Words or whatever, with being I mean, sure, but like when their beliefs and their actions and their actions, even in like voting and the way that they talk about people and all that, when it's like actually harming society and all that, it doesn't matter that people don't learn that fast and they can't blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, doesn't that fucking not matter when like it's actually hurting other people?
Yeah.
Like your opinions, like you don't really have a right to just be a thirsty horse there. Someone's gonna shove your head down to take a fucking drink, because you not drinking is killing black people.
Or it's gonna kill you, and you're gonna blame me regardless for not making you drink the water. This metaphor has gone off the rails.
It's turning the freaking frogs gay.
Creativity to me is just like it's like a
horse leading to water. And it's just shooting water out of its nose full of ideas.
The thing that I really want to get personal responsibility. That's something that comes up a lot.
Hate it.
And it's like, I know, I just don't believe that I have any role in society.
I like interpersonal responsibility.
Nice. Is like the idea of just being nice. It's like, okay, so you just have to be nice to each other. It's like, okay, well, so what does that mean exactly? If you say hi and you're polite and you make cookies for people and you're kind on one-on-one basis, sure, that's great. Obviously, that's necessary.
That's what I do.
But doesn't it matter if you vote Republican and then they take away rights from women, so little girls that get raped have to have babies? Is that nice? Like, is it nice sort of relative? And especially if you have like a very privileged position, doesn't it look a lot different maybe if you're thinking that personal responsibility is the main goal and all of this, making people struggle and suffer and be ashamed and stuff because they're not working hard enough? Is that nice?
There's like, the hypocrisy of like that personal responsibility, or just the easy way for people like that to justify it because of how it pushes the burden away from you because you're part of a collective and just voting. It just reminds me of like, it's like, you're doing that vote that's gonna like fucking murder trans people or something like that. Sure, you're not murdering trans people, and I don't know, I just voted for this guy, man, blah blah blah. I'm not a Nazi, and then it's like, it just reminds me of like the thought experiment that was like, I'm pretty sure that was like played out in The Dark Knight, right? Where he does a version of it, but where it's like, if you could just push a button and it would kill someone, it's like, are you the murderer kind of thing? It's like, yeah, you didn't kill anyone in a nightclub shooting, and we're not going to talk about it on the podcast, and we're talking about it beforehand, but it's like, you kind of did, But again, like you played your part.
To use all these aphorisms and stuff, like birds of a feather flock together. If you're surrounded by Nazis at these right-wing rallies, maybe not surrounded, but they're there, what does that say? If that is true, birds of a feather flock together, which it is sort of. People find people that they have, commonalities with or whatever, that their beliefs resonate with them or whatever. What does it say that the right wing has Nazis in it? Not everyone is a Nazi for sure, but they are there. Like, what does that mean? Like, how does that make you feel like you're a nice person if your values, like what you're voting for, is also the exact same thing that David Duke is voting for? And that would give me pause.
And it's like and you know what? And if you want a whataboutism, it would give me pause. I would become a furry because of how leftist I am. I was gonna say, and then there's shitty people on the left too, and there's like weirdo tankies and Stalinists or whatever it might be. And even if you say, and they're total leftists or literal terrorists or something like that, which just doesn't happen often, but it exists. And it's like, okay, well, if you want to do whataboutism, then fine, just quantify it. Which is worse? Huh? Which is worse, like environmental terrorists or lynch mobs? What do you think? Make your decision.
Like, the right wing and the
I'm
left wing.
I'm talking to you, Natalie.
The far right, far left. Yeah, they're exactly the same. And I was like, no, they're not. I just kept saying, no, they're not. No, they're not. They're not the exact same.
They're just not.
Because the very far right, they are Nazis.
Yeah.
That is what they are. They are avowed white supremacists and Nazis. And it's like, oh, that word gets thrown around. I'm like, they're carrying Nazi flags.
Why do you think it keeps getting carried or thrown around? Because it's everywhere.
I know, and and people just think that it's people being too sensitive, and it's like, no, you are just willfully ignorant of the fact that, and to say that the left wing, it's like, oh, all these, I was like, there is no radical leftist that has any power at all in America, and that is a fact. There are white supremacists who are Congress people. What's his face in Indiana or whatever, Steve King, that used to be a representative?
Literal
he said,
white
what's wrong
nationalist.
with being a white nationalist?
Yeah.
I'm a white nationalist. Yes. Like, there are people who are aligned that love Tucker Carlson.
People in power.
There's people
Kanye
who used to be
West
white
was just hanging out with Nick Fuentes. Like,
I saw that.
A literal
That's
fucking
really
booger-eating fascist who talks openly about putting people in camps. Like,
booger eating.
He does. He's on video. He eats his own boogers.
Butthead.
He's a stupid poop brain.
Oh my God. He eats his own boogers.
He eats his own boogers, and he probably smells his own farts.
Yeah, and
it's like, I don't know, right and the left not being. It's like, you know what you get when you go really far right into crazy, even if, okay, let's go ultra far right without like classic fascist type of things, and it's just like religious nationalism, So it's like,
thanks a lot, Puritans.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks a lot, Puritans.
Except not the Puritans. It's like, hey, dummies, you know what you get when you go really far right? The Taliban, ISIS. Like, well, mostly the Taliban is a really good comparison. It's like, these people that you stupid fucks have been trying to fight all this whole time and stuff. It's like, they're heavily authoritarian, hierarchical, like, what is the whole, I don't know, just a theocratic, paleo-nationalist type of group. It's like, it's what it is. Like, how can you not see, like, the parallels without purposefully blinding yourself to it with like just, I mean, the only differences are, you know, just the levels of like modernity and infrastructure, honestly, between the Taliban and like
skin.
and yeah, well, I mean, yeah, being in the global South or in the American West is the only real difference between what the Taliban did and what theocratic fascists like Matt Walsh literally want. They want to have the Taliban with nice highways. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they'll admit it to you if you actually talk these things out. Like, any of them, if they're doing it in good faith, that's what it is. That's why Matt Walsh, I've heard someone argue that he says it satirically, but it's like, it's just been his admitted thing in his Twitter bio is that he's a theocratic fascist. And it's like, you can just say that of yourself. It's just like the 7th grade kid saying, like, you know, to his bullies, like, nope, you're right, I'm gay, or something like, you know, yeah, I am a dumbass nerd, you know, or something like, just to say that you're doing it satirically, but that's what they're calling you. I guess that's not as good of a thing because it's not bullies. It's just, I'm trying to think of the right analogy, but you know that dynamic that I'm talking about. It's like, oh, sure. Yep. Nope. I'm a theocratic fascist. It's like, yeah, yeah, you are.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not a joke, you fucking idiot. And it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's because
mental illness is when you're right wing.
And that's it.
That is very true. Yeah, what I think about all these talks about politics that I had over the last couple of days, where to me, it's like, people are like, why can't we just be happy? Why can't we just talk about this is all that matters, your family and whatever. And it's like, but all these people that are being harmed
can't we just
by
be
our systems
happy?
are someone's family.
Why don't you ask that to some actually like unhappy people whose rights are being trampled on?
That's what my point was. I'm like, it's really easy to say this when you're white and you're not affected by these things. It's really easy to preach patience and stuff when your sons are getting murdered by the cops.
Yeah. It's about class solidarity.
Middle class in rural America. Yeah. And like, but to me, I'm like, you know, my passion for things comes from compassion. Not, right. It doesn't come from condescension or arrogance, I don't think, or I try not to anyways. It's like, it comes from compassion for all of these poor, stupid fucking Nazis and all these ignorant people that would be a lot happier if they, or happier is a hard word, more accepting and understanding of the world that they live in, and we could make the world better if they ever wanted to think about it for a second instead of being scared away by passion for things. And it's like, well, you gotta lead people. It's like, what do you think all these like civil rights leaders and suffragettes and stuff were doing, being like, oh, excuse me, maybe we can talk this out, maybe we can do this. It's like, it's so easy when you're not the one affected.
Yeah, in 2020, they're talking about cities being burned down. It's like, you know how many places fucking burned down in the 60s? Like, literally burned to the ground, and how many people were shot and killed and all that stuff, just so that we could be slightly further ahead than we were, like where we are today with civil rights. You fucking idiot. Stuff that you supposedly support now, it's like...
It's like, you know what was happening at the time to get civil rights passed is people had to be agitators. Like, you had to disrupt the system because because if people keep saying this is the way that it is, or if we need to negotiate with terrorists, it's not going to happen.
And you know what?
Like, you know what?
And you know what? No.
Seriously.
You know what?
And it's like, and after all that, it's like we talk about history and these stupid oh my gosh, this makes me so mad even just thinking about it. Like these people talking about, well, this isn't the way to protest, or you're being just as bad when you're doing violence or harm unto others, or fighting back against oppressors. And what would Martin Luther King say? You know what fucking happened to Martin Luther King Jr.? He was shot and murdered by exactly this.
Yeah.
Even after being peaceful.
What do you think, like, so do you think that, like, enslaved people should have been reasonable about it? They shouldn't have risen up and violence, and it's like, so just because these systems aren't, like, straight up saying the N-word, or, well, they are actually the
N-word.
They are brutalizing people, but but it's so much more abstract most of the time than that, with like getting jobs and housing and blah blah blah, discrimination, and how it's like so subverted and everything. It's
but still
totally
very real, and you know, and it's like all of this, and you still okay. Go ahead. And you still end up getting shot. I was just going to
say, like, that people just, like, they deserve, or whatever the word is I'm looking for, they have a right to, whatever you want to call it, all the way back to whoever was saying the social contract, Socrates, or whatever, those crap and fucking guys in Greece, you know, like, they don't owe a society or a government something when their needs are not being met like that. They don't owe peace to people. It's like no justice, no peace.
Yeah.
But these white privileged people just don't see it like that because their lives are not affected by it. And they choose to remain unaffected by not reading literature that I've gotten them, by not, you know, educating themselves outside of it and being like, I'm progressive enough and whatever. And like, isn't that, you know, people can...
Or they're in the unfortunate position of, you know, like they could even be experiencing some form of marginalization somewhere. And it's just so easy to propagandize people into thinking that their life is actually okay. You know, even though they're being exploited and stuff, it's like, even if, of course, they don't have it as bad as some other people, but, you know, and that's what gets them into that position of not being empathetic with all that because their life is more privileged. And still, it's like, if you're in America, in the working class, even if you're more privileged than other people, it's like, you've been conditioned into accepting scraps. Like, you don't even have the right empathy for yourself. Like, to advocate for yourself, definitely. Like, people believe that, like, that they're, you know, taking from their boss if they just want to stay on the clock, or that, you know, things like that, where it's just you know, life's just too short, man. And that's the thing when you're talking about empathizing with people in these positions. Like, it's like I empathize with how stupid ass white right wingers get into the positions they're in, but I don't give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, life's too short, man. Like, fuck off. Like, get with the program, or like, there's no point. I don't know. It's just it's too hard for me, is what she said. And I don't know.
No, she didn't. She never said that.
Stop.
Okay, but she never said that. She said it was just hard enough. That was actually a joke that I just made with my lady friend earlier today. I said,
just hard enough.
I said, no, I can't play that. I was talking about some piano thing. I was like, that's too hard. And she's like, nothing's too hard for you. And I was like, no, it's just right. And she's like, and she's
like, I don't
she
get
blocked
it.
me. No.
Yeah, well, obviously.
But let's okay, I agree with you. It's great to be fine. Okay.
That's whatever you're talking about for you.
Speaking of this person I was just talking about, because she'll never listen to the podcast, whatever, no one does. I had brought up something about Hey, well, she's great. Okay, she's great.
No, I meant we are not great.
Oh, yeah. If I mention her, she'll be like, why do I have to be associated with that podcast? I'm better than this. No, but
she moves to Europe.
I just wanted to say it because I wanted to give her credit with somehow she said something about Mother Nature, and I had said and I was like, no, we call it Brother Nature. You know, you brought that up, Brother Nature, and I just done it real quick. I was like, no, it's Brother Nature. He transitioned, like just throwing something out, and but instead she was like, no, it's Brother Nature. Mother Nature died, and it was passed on to Brother Nature. And I was like, okay, that's much better and less transphobic, so we'll go with that. Yeah, and and then I was like, and you know what? Yeah. Because Mother Nature died because of what we're doing to the planet. And now it's up to Brother Nature to fight back. And that's what all the fucking hurricanes are coming from. That's why trees fell down on my house a few weeks ago.
Hurricanes are Mother Nature's guns.
And then for some reason, just because I don't know where it came from. Something from that, but I just wrote down the phrase Brother Nature and Daddy Natural.
Daddy Natural.
I was like, yep, that has a ring to it, huh? Daddy
Absolutely.
Natural.
Daddy Natural. That's like a t-shirt. That's like our that's our thing now. Did you say that or did she say that?
I said that one. She was talking about how Mother Nature died, so
then.
it became Brother Nature because it was, inherited, right? So,
and now it says it should be patriarchal Daddy Natural.
Yes, now
it just wasn't working as Mother Nature
because,
for 4 billion years.
Good times create soft men, or whatever.
Speaking of being too hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And let me just skip through some of these. I know you have a lot of interesting things to say. I just wrote so much in here, and we'll just kind of catch up on some things that we won't really go on long tangents with. Okay, Brother Nature. I also wrote, LOL, remember Rick Santorum?
Do you remember Jon Stewart making, so you know what Santorum means?
Yes.
If you look it up on Urban Dictionary,
Oh,
the
yeah.
frothy mixture of lube and anal juices from anal sex.
Yeah.
And that's what, it's Santorum, and that like beat out Rick Santorum's name. Like that's what it's
if you Google
associated
it.
with now because of Jon Stewart.
And then it was like, oh, I didn't realize that
so
he was... I thought it was like
him.
that before he became...
Well, it was, but then he was really like pushing. It's like, well, you know what that means, and like put it out to his whole
Santorum.
audience of
And then
whoever was watching.
I remember
Daily
that
Show at
whole
the
thing.
time.
People were like, no, seriously, don't Google it, though. They're like, unless you're into that, do not Google that. It's like, it's like
I am.
lube and cum and fecal matter all frothed together or something like that. And, okay, so LOL, remember Rick Santorum. Man, I wish the Republicans were just like that.
I think I've seen him on like CNN.
Oh, yeah, he's some fucking dipshit CNN pundit. Let's see. Some of these are almost kind of late. Yeah. I did write, I think Kanye went down the Jewish question path when, as soon as he heard Trump mispronounce Yosemite. That's his guy, is Trump. And remember when he said Yosemite? Yosemite?
Oh my God.
That's where it all began.
Yeah,
it's like how
it started clicking.
Yeah, it's like how Trump's presidential run really started when Seth Meyers roasted him at the White House press correspondence or whatever. That's when his whole anti-Semitism thing really fired up. But one
wasn't Trump with Nick Fuentes? And
yeah, he says he likes Nick Fuentes too. Supposedly, Ye said that he wants Trump to be his running mate, and Trump excoriated him for it. It's like, not only are you delusional, but you're so delusional that you literally think that Trump would be open to that. He's the only.
Imagine those two egos.
The only
in this,
person as
God.
narcissistic as you are. It's Donald Trump.
Except,
what the fuck?
Yeah, except with way less sympathy.
Yeah, exactly. And he's been rich his entire life instead of building his wealth. So.
Yeah. Oh, hey, remember we were talking about, were you there when we were talking about grounding yourself, touching the ground, how it's good for humans to be in contact with the earth and stuff? It's just there's science behind it and stuff. And how fucking weird it is. I just think about it a lot, about Trump's life, his upbringing, living in New York.
Never having a dog.
Never having a dog. And not probably ever really. Can you imagine him walking around barefoot somewhere and being like, "Wow, the grass feels so nice," and grounding himself into any sort of reality that is
he played
reality.
Baseball. I mean, I don't know. He had to have some, but it's just so weird thinking about it because at the same time, it's almost you can retroactively just look at how he is now, and then think of well, there's just no way he was normal when he was younger. Because he's so
he was
fucking
a millionaire
weird.
by the time he was 4.
Not only just that environment, but just you just look at what he is for the past 15 years, really, and it's just there's no way he had a normal childhood, and he didn't have a normal childhood. I mean, for sure, and his father was horrible, right? And
his mother
he almost
was
kind
like
of followed
cold
in his footsteps and was never accepted by him at the same time. So, but I'm not going to have empathy for Donald Trump. Fuck that piece of bloated shit. It's like if a turd had helium inside it, but that's not his personality. It's just how he stands is a turd filled with helium. That's kind of like slightly rising off the ground, but it's still there.
That's being very ableist.
Ableist? What is he at? Because of his bone spurs?
Yeah, he's not able at all.
Yeah, because even for you with your obvious learning disability.
I already did. Yeah.
So I thought a good little okay. Oh, there's one that I wrote down. It's kind of already old. That's the thing. But I was going to bring it up earlier when we were talking about having differing opinions, what a range that means and how it can actually just harm people. And it's like, did you see a lot of people saw some of Trump's speech when he announced that he was running again. But a lot of places cut away from it because it's just drivel. But the fact that
Fox News,
that he wants to execute drug dealers.
He sounds like Duterte.
What
in the Philippines? Yeah.
Fuck. Like this. I wrote this should get all of the lib-hating and politically disenfranchised leftists off of their whack shit and outside to stop Trump, no matter who the fucking Democratic opponent is. Stuff like that. Like, that's crazy. Like, if you're extreme enough of a leftist that, you should consider yourself comrades with, like, Antifa, that's the type of stuff that has to be stopped. It doesn't matter if it's fucking Sleepy Joe running again, or even if it's Kamala Harris, or if it's some just garbage fucking, unless it's Hillary, then let's just turn the nukes on ourselves. But no,
feed her to the walls.
Yeah. Just literally walk into the ocean. No, but it's like, no matter who the Dem is, it's like, this is getting crazy. Like that he's starting his campaign talking about this stuff. And
he's going to escalate from there.
Yeah, that he wants to execute drug dealers. Execute them. Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
And it's like all this backwards thinking. I just watched the Ballad of Buster Scruggs last night.
Terrible.
Again, it's it's funny and it's I like it. And
I should rewatch that.
But it just, I'm like, man, America hasn't come far from its roots. All these people with guns just shooting each other in the street.
These people are sick.
Yeah, exactly. So you got them, Donnie. No,
legit.
Yeah,
it seems like we're just going back to like judge, jury, executioner style. Everyone's got guns. There's always this quick reflexive quote unquote justice, so it's like, it's literally that kind of executing drug dealers is like, so what year is this? Is this like the 1200s where we're gonna start burning people at the stake? Like, I don't even, other countries have done away with the death penalty. Other like European countries, a lot of them don't have the death penalty, and we still do.
And not even like, talking about the death penalty, but like it's like executing drug dealers, and you haven't put a single like pharmaceutical company executive in jail? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
you're talking about the fentanyl problem. What? And it's like hearkening back to this time where we have such primitive technology that
people have to flush their toilet 15 times.
See, Trump, you know what I'm talking about.
The N-word.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Suck me from the back.
Exactly.
That's what
I'm talking about.
Uh-oh. Stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no. That's I wanted to at least mention that because I'd written it down, and then I'm just like, oh, we've gone a little while since our last pod, and that's already getting old. But it's like this shit and the fact that it's already getting old and it got passed over, it's like, no, let's keep remembering this, because this can be, even if you don't vote, get out on the fucking streets or something. Like, it should get you behind any friendly side that's against this fascistic right-wing garbage. Like, come on.
No, Doug, people can agree to disagree.
Oh, shut the fuck up. No. Shut up. But, yeah, you know what? I was going to say, when you brought that up, too, isn't it funny that When it comes to your wiener, but when it comes down to it, the person who ends up saying, let's agree to disagree, never really agrees to do that. They're always just giving up.
Yeah.
Doesn't it say something about that entire concept when just put into context who says that and how they say it each time it gets said, just in general, what you know from life and conversations, does that really mean anything anyway? I mean, it means something, but in practice, does it?
Because you're tired of bringing up points and having them refuted, and you know that if you keep doing that, it's going to keep happening. And then what happens at the end of that is you have to actually do some reflection and wonder what your beliefs really are. But people don't, these beliefs that they have are not, okay, whatever. This is where I start sounding like a condescending fucking asshole. Is but you haven't thought about
This is when you start sounding like that?
I'm
okay.
Yeah. This is when I start saying that kind of stuff, I'm well, I have spent a lot of time seeking out this information.
Yeah.
I don't have kids. I don't have, I've never
proactive.
had kids. But I've sought it out. That's what I went to school for. That's stuff that interests me. It's I wouldn't argue with a mechanic over what's wrong with my car because I didn't know
seek out that knowledge
cars.
they did.
And it is a lot more subjective, of course, but it's also but I'm telling you stuff that I know about, and you're choosing to not listen to me because the sciences that come with sociology and these other quote soft sciences, it's not respected. It's not you're telling them about a scientific discovery. It's opinions. That's what they think. All this stuff is opinions and statistics, and that could be whatever. And it's but so what do you know again? You've
so what
yourself?
Are facts to you though? Because it's because I bet that same person will generally argue economics and stuff. It's that's just as soft of a science. It's it's practically sociology. It doesn't really reflect anything.
Yeah, that's not a real science.
I only stick to the turgid sciences.
Yeah, and I'm I don't really care
hard
about
science, throbbing science,
economics.
Okay,
yeah, rock hard science. No, I don't really care about economics either. I mean,
no,
I do,
I'm just
obviously,
saying,
because it affects people.
Kind of
but
as a whataboutism.
Yeah, it's when start talking about that, it's but I don't really. I mean, but well, then you can get into that, and I'm but that also affects people and affects society at large, and you can get down. Well, whatever, people talking about the stock market and stuff. This, over it's really hard to not.
Just because there are things that don't use the scientific method doesn't mean it doesn't matter. Come on, and these people.
But they do use the scientific method.
Oh, I know. I'm saying, but anything
that's what they're using.
in a study, but I mean, just because it doesn't use your idea of hard science doesn't mean it doesn't matter. Even if you can call it not real science or whatever, it's well, what is it? I mean, it's still knowledge. It's still knowledge about the human condition, whether it's sociology, gender studies, fucking history, stuff like that, where it's all those people that complain so much about well, it doesn't mean anything, gender studies degree or sociology and all that commie crap or whatever. It's you're the one constantly talking about gender and sociological issues. You have opinions on it. The people who actually believe that it's a valid area of study also have opinions on it. Their opinion is different than yours, and they're the ones who studied it, and you don't think it's even worth studying, yet you still have an opinion. Woo!
I know, and that's what it's if people were just if they were more open to being well, I don't know, but even that happened. It's I'm you have said yourself that you don't pay attention to this stuff. You know you're ignorant. And then when I say it, you say I'm a condescending asshole when I'm repeating what you said about yourself.
Yeah.
And then I'm saying that I have more information for you. And you're saying, how much is there to know? How much can you possibly know in a lifetime? I'm I don't know. It's never ending. There's an infinite amount of knowledge out there that you can constantly keep expanding. I don't fucking know. Yeah. I'm an idiot.
I don't know. You're an
that's
idiot.
Why I keep looking for more information.
Yeah.
It's just hard to know how to.
I thought it'd be.
have like succinct conversations where you can get your point across. I had a couple good arguments in there where it's like I think made a couple of good points, like about birds of a feather flocking together and all that kind of stuff. But it's hard to like coming from an attitude of personal responsibility being the absolute foundation of society's problems or solutions is just not helpful, because it's not even like I'm like, but see, these individuals with this personal responsibility exist within a society, and they're from the time that they're born, they are without any sort of consent, given the conditions in which that they live in, and their choices are limited from there. And it's not the responsibility of a parent only to be the only person who ever has an effect on how these people grow up. It's society at large that creates that parenting to begin with.
Are you saying
like, it's all of?
Are you saying we live in a society?
I'm saying we live in an economy, but
no,
it's all
okay, yeah, true. That's the type of
no.
society in which we live. In this so-called society, if it so can be called.
If it can. Dang it. Got me. Yeah, I just, it's hard to know where to start when you have like, and whatever. I don't have to feel like guilty about this knowledge base that I have either. It's like, I can feel okay about being smart about a subject, that's what it feels like. You just come off as condescending because it's about a subject that people can have quote unquote opinions about. And that's where it comes down. It's like, but some of these opinions are like, they're flawed from the beginning. And wouldn't you want to know if something that you thought was wrong, and it's objectively wrong because it can be deduced down to, well, your starting point is actually misinformed.
Or logic.
Like, wouldn't you want to know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like, I don't want to think things that aren't true. Like, I don't want
logical fallacies.
Know everything that I can.
want logical fallacies.
Yeah, I want logical fallacies.
Yeah, fallacies. Logical fellatio. That's when you're
I want it to be when
you're jerking off an AI
with Spock. No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when you're.
When Spock is jerking off.
It's when your sex doll is giving you a blowjob in your Tesla.
Yes.
I hope you get ass cancer and die, you son of a bitch.
I was just thinking too, because with both of us kind of reaching points in each one of these conversations, each one of these discussions, where it kind of gets to this really pull your hair out kind of feeling, and the direction in which the world is going. And it's weird while you're in it. It's like, is it just a cringy, privileged question to ask? If just you pose the question as a thought, do we live in a dystopia in America right now? Like, you just kind of look at, and even when I was thinking that too, it's like, ugh, geez, you think this is a dystopia? Like, you're so fucking privileged. It's like, yeah, I am privileged, and so it's pretty bad for some other people out there, because even I don't see, like, I just don't see us on the path toward utopia, so it's like, does that mean you're already in a dystopia? Like, it just feels like, I don't know, something really needs to change. Like, America is just straight up, even if we make grounds in civil rights or economic inequality, which we're not, but even if we do, we're still on an overarching, like, downward trend, which, I mean, just nation states and groups tend to do. Like, I mean, I don't know if I'd ever see like a revolution in my lifetime. But anyway, that just kind of gets past the point. But it's like, it's kind of funny thinking that. It's like, I mean, because the system itself is geared towards oppression, really, because of the entrenchment of capitalism in our system, and how adverse to change. It really averse. Yeah, to change. It really is set up as right now in terms of for the people itself. It's like, so do we like live in a dystopia? And it's almost even more dystopian because if you took a step back and looked at it, you can kind of make yourself just be fine with it and be happy if things are going okay, even though corporations run our lives and the NSA collects all of our data and police kill us in the street, and like we'll never like be able to
can't get health care, and we get difentanil overdoses, and
like education is going to like propaganda's everywhere. You get advertisements at the gas station pumps, like you said.
Don't even get me started on that.
It's like, man, I mean, and that's the problem. It's like, wow, when you can kind of look at it in that way and be like, a way that you can describe like the state of affairs and the direction in which it's going and the system in place to continue this is quite a dystopia if you want to look at it in some sort of objective manner. And then you think, well, because it isn't that bad of a dystopia for a lot of people, doesn't that mean it can get way worse? Or like it probably could get way worse? I don't know. It's like we're not that far away from the last couple. I just read. I read a great. I don't know where it's from, but someone on Twitter, and I'm back on Twitter already. I'm just all over the place with it. I just can't get away. But
it's an abusive relationship.
But I only stay on Twitter on Inane Blather. So then every once in a while I kind of rethink myself. I won't use my personal account. It's just too much. It's too much. But.
Make us look good.
I don't. I just argue with fascists.
That would be an unfair representation. Of the people that we are.
It's like make us look good. What? Lie? No.
Yes.
Don't quote me on that though.
But someone had said, kind of as an offhand comment, that fascism is
when no cars.
Yeah, they said fascism is great, and
socialism is when no cars.
But
you know what?
They said that fascism is narcissism as politics, or political narcissism, and I was like, it just kind of, I kind of read right past it, like, oh, that's a funny take. Wait a minute, wow, that's really, really kind of insightful. Like the whole scapegoating, how everyone is out to get you in terms of you're a nationalist group, like your nation, like everyone's out to get you, but they're also all weak and no one can help you and you're the strong one, and also you're under constant attack. Everyone else is wrong and you're always right, and everyone's thinking it, but they won't say it, and you're the one who'll say it. Like it's all this undercurrent. It's like, wow, it is narcissism as political ideology. Like it was kind of cool. I mean, I'm not the smartest in terms of anything, but I'm not the biggest psychology guy. I'm not gonna just go off the top of my head on what narcissism truly is, but I've read a lot about it, and people throwing it around on Twitter all the time. I've read enough of there,
What the fuck?
Sure.
But
that's all the research.
I mean, what else could you possibly do? That's the internet, right? It's twitter.com/whatever else I'm reading. There's more stuff on the internet. Like Wikipedia sounds like some groomer shit.
It is.
Yeah, Wikipedia.
Nice.
But it's not even funny anymore. Oh my god! I swear to God, that's. It's like.
Well, actually, our sister has said multiple times that like America. Generally, like the government, America as a concept and all of that, with its relationship with its people is like an abusive relationship, like promising everything and then gaslighting you into thinking that it's your own fault if you don't do it well enough. This personal responsibility and stuff, like that's what the dynamic is if you're like an American that's not rich, you know, like most Americans.
Going really, down the road to fascism really would be the abusive relationship with a total narcissist. That's why Donald Trump fell so. I mean, that's why it's so funny. It's like, and it would almost it just makes even more sense why it's like, oh, is Donald Trump a fascist or is he just an idiot? And this is the way that it goes, and people controlling. It's like, no, he is like deranged imbecile who is so narcissistic that naturally his ideology and political leanings are fascistic by nature because he's a narcissist. You put the narcissist in charge.
Business guy.
I mean, that too. Yeah. But I mean, he's it's really narcissistic. It's just so obvious, at least, like the way that he interacts with people.
Because he's completely lacking empathy.
Yeah, as most narcissists are.
Anyone else's perspective.
But like I said, I'm no psychologist.
All narcissists are. I mean, that's their whole thing, is that they don't like.
That's our whole thing?
Other people's. Yeah, that's our whole thing as narcissists ourselves, is that we don't care about what other people think, and we just use them as pawns.
You say that we're narcissists?
Like a normal person. Yeah, but I was just joking.
Man, you did that way too smoothly.
Really
it's like, am I missing something? It's like, gosh, I'm not a narcissist. I'm better than everyone in the world. No, everyone else is a narcissist.
We're just arrogant.
I asked a real psychologist though about narcissism, and he was just like,
LOL. LMFAO.
Yeah, I was like, dude, come on. And he's like,
bruh.
I was like, fine, fuck you, Jordy.
Jordy P.
You know what?
Jordy peed his pants.
Okay. It's like, you know what, Jordy? Yeah, there's a lot more on here. We're currently doing this on a Saturday night.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh man, I
really have to pee.
Ooh, one thing that's I thought was kind of funny. So speaking of Twitter, it's funny on one hand.
Twitter, I hardly know her.
Shut the fuck up. That is the best fucking joke I've ever heard.
Thank you.
Bro, this is such a funny take, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-oh.
No, that's not what God, I was just trying to scroll down. But it's funny. On one hand, we talk about how, it would be a good direction to turn social media platforms that are into like a public utility instead, to be able to have it more regulated, and by going and also follow like free speech guidelines and things like that, and provide a public space, whatever. But it's funny how also, or some people just say, just fucking nationalize these companies, not only because they're platforms for public square free speech, but also because they're just too fucking big. Nationalize Twitter, nationalize Facebook, yada yada.
That's what she
said.
But
right now,
they're too fucking big.
What's kind of funny in a way that's, not ha-ha funny, but it's kind of funny. Twitter, since it's just tanking and was bought for way too much money by Elon Crust or whatever his name is. Okay, I can't do the R.M. Brown thing, but Elon Musk. He had to pump a bunch of SpaceX money into it, right? He had to buy a bunch of advertising to keep the lights on at Twitter for now. And it's like, which for one thing, it's like, why the fuck would SpaceX advertise on social media? So it's just an obvious just taking money from one of his companies and holding up the other one. But it's like, SpaceX is like a fucking like government contractor. They're a defense contractor. The government pays them to launch stuff into space. So it's like, now like taxpayer money is just holding up Twitter because of SpaceX.
So it is
and it's like, it's like, so it's the opposite. We're just funneling it through a middleman,
that's right.
big, huge capitalist. And it's Elon Musk. And it's like, I don't even wish that upon rich fucks whose money I think should be taxed highly to hold up things in government. It's like, I don't even wish that on Warren Buffett. I don't want his money having to go to prop up Twitter. That should be on advertisers, Like, it was just kind of funny in a gross way where I was like, yeah, SpaceX, wait a minute. That's a government contractor who's also like owned and managed by the guy who owns Twitter, and so it's just propping up Twitter, so it's just taxpayer government money being funneled into Twitter.
Of all places.
Boy.
There's nowhere else that could go,
it just
schools or healthcare.
And it just feels different than
perfect society.
Than like, if it was like the Marines is like advertising on Twitter, because it's an actual marketing thing. So yeah, then that's taxpayer money or whatever, military expenditure for that sort of thing. But it feels different when it's like, well, it's the guy's other company that just happens to be already propped up on government money. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to me.
He just needs Uncle Sam's
what
handout.
What a fucking racket, though, huh? It's like, how do these stupid fucking people, like...
Do we know the answer to that? He's white.
He's lucky.
And he has...
I mean, he made some good decisions, for sure. I mean, and there's stuff back in the day where it's like, good or bad decisions, you have to actually be doing something. You have to be proactive about being a shitty capitalist, to make that money. It's not like he just sat around and won the lottery, like some people seem to imply, but it's like, of course he isn't, but where you're talking about where value...
like the lottery of like where he's born.
But I mean, not literally sitting there and doing nothing. But it's like, just like everyone else, I mean, is still at the same time, it's like, yeah, you had to make those decisions, but... someone who works at fucking Jack in the Box works harder than that, honestly, if you're just talking about labor. But
like a nurse, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I was just trying to
people.
I was just trying to shit on crappy working class people flipping burgers because man, you're just gonna end up flipping burgers. Well, fuck you. Stop eating burgers. Just
that's what I was thinking.
Freaking thing that I'm not gonna say.
What were you going to say? The N-word?
Yeah, I was going to say
the N-word.
And then I was like, I can't say that. That's racist that I'm not allowed to say
the N-word.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to say the N-word. I can't even imagine like actually saying the N-word. It's funny.
Saying it,
it's just like, ugh. And I can literally imagine saying every other word, even if I wouldn't want to. I mean, I could say anything else, but I'm not going to say that because I'm an American and I'm not an idiot. And I understand how these things work. I understand that there's context, but I understand that we have family members who are black. Like, come on.
Didn't we talk about that, like language having? I'm like, does language have meaning? You know, like, does it matter who's saying it? Well,
reality doesn't exist locally, so how could language have meaning?
The N-word in particular, that's an interesting one because it's so. I mean, every culture and all these ones are going to have different words of the whatever, but it's very particular, like to the United States of how we use that. And like how that term is like in the United States because of our history in particular.
It's like because context and definitions and all that, it all matters. Like it's just the way that, I mean, maybe we bring it back around. You can have the opinion that it doesn't matter, but your opinion is very loosely founded. Is what I'll say. Yeah. So it's like, well, you know what? They're allowed to say it to each other all the time. How come I can't? And that means that I can't say it? Yes. That is what that means. Yes. Yeah. Are you really asking? Yes.
You got it. You nailed it.
Well, I think that's unfair. I don't fucking care.
Well, you're wrong. Yeah. You're
wrong.
I mean,
you can say it. Unfair. You can also just not be surprised when you get hit in the mouth, or something. Like, come on. Anyway, well, you have to go. Man, I have other stuff to talk. That's right. That's the last thing that I wrote down.
Tuesday.
In a communist utopia, all of our dicks would be bigger without capitalism. I can explain that further on Tuesday. I'll end with the nice thing. True. It is true, and I have the science behind
evidence?
It. But I want to be the person that people want to see.
See naked?
No, I want to be the person that people want to see. I was thinking about it with all of our social gatherings and stuff like that. That's something to go by.
Yeah.
Be the person that people want to go see. There you go.
Yeah, except for me, nice. That is not possible because people don't want to talk about politics, and that's all I want to talk about. So, and I'm not going to stop talking about politics.
What, you think that people get upset when you talk politics when we're at our Friendsgiving? Doubt it.
No, not everywhere, I guess. Yeah, that's true. Just
be the person.
I guess the people that don't want to see me, maybe I don't want to see them either.
Exactly. Be the person that people want to see. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean like don't change how you are seen. Be oh crap, I had a different way of saying it that was also good. I don't know. I was thinking it out and I was like, yeah, cuz it feels good. It feels good to be liked.
To feel good.
By friends and family, because it's great to be fine. It's great to feel fine. It's great to be fine. That's what it is.
It feels good.
Yeah. I agree with you. It's great to be fine. Okay. Okay, well, shout out R.M. Brown. Natalie has to go use the toilets. And while she's sitting on the toilet, she's just going to be yelling
the N-word
over and over again. And people are going to walk past Natalie's house and they're going to be like,
these people are sick.
And she's going to dump into the toilet and she's going to look at it and she'll be like,
that is my own sperm.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense. But,
well, someone did ask me if I was transgender.
That's true.
So I guess.
And you're like, maybe you could find out if you just
suck me from the back.
They're like,
he would be like, okay.
You're like, well, the Constitution knows if I'm transgender, and they're like, what? You're like, because
the Constitution can suck me from the back.
Shout out R.M. Brown. And I love you. Thanks for everyone that we got to see the other day, especially if they listen again. Hi, Zach. We shout out R.M. Brown and we say hi, Zach.
Hi, Zach.
Okay. All right. I love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.